In relation to the Arkle Challenge Trophy, which is the one now that we can focus on, because I think this is a bit more easier to find the winner. We know that Champagne Fever runs at the weekend, but your views?
More difficult, if you ask me.
More difficult?
Yeah, more.
Well, maybe we won't ask you then, maybe we'll ask Sandy.
Yeah, no worries. Crack on. Anyone else?
Well, I mean, I think the Supreme is actually probably harder than this.
Yeah.
You know, because the Supreme has lots of unexposed horses.
Yeah.
But the Arkle, we've got a fair gauge on Champagne Fever and Rock on Ruby, etc.
Have we got a fair gauge on Champagne Fever? He seems to come up with Cheltenham form, then he's got a couple of dodgy bits of form in there.
Let me ask you
Which
a question.
one's showing up on the day?
Well, he likes Cheltenham, he likes March.
Okay, let me ask you a question about Champagne Fever. He runs on Sunday over 2 mile, 5 furlongs. All the breeding suggests the further this horse goes, the better he's going to be. Now, Arkle's over a sharp 2 miles. You can say that he would defy logic. He went toe-to-toe, made a bad mistake the last time out. The winner of this race is Trifolium, surely, but, I mean, views on Champagne Fever?
I think he's worthy favourite.
You do?
I think it's simple as that, really.
Do you think because he comes good at Cheltenham this time of year?
You cannot... course form is just so important, and Champagne Fever has proven now that he is a Cheltenham horse. And last time, okay, he made the mistake, question marks about distances, but I think he's worthy favourite, and I can't see him out of the top 3, to be honest with you.
Doesn't that mistake worry you though? I watched the race and the mistake sort of knocked the stuff in.
It did, but you can excuse a horse to make one mistake. Cato Star made mistakes, but it happens, doesn't it? Horses make mistakes, some worse than others.
But he finished behind Trifolium.
Yeah, I think,
and they've got some ground to make up there. And the horse won well again.
Trifolium's been massively impressive, hasn't it? Since going over the bigger obstacles. Anyone that was on that day at Leopardstown I think it was Leopardstown when they first stuck him over.
Well, it was quite interesting that day because Brian Cooper decided to ride Trifolium that day. And it was 8-9 to 1. It wasn't even the well fancied.
That's it.
The thing is, you say that he's really just stepped up when he's gone. He has stepped up when he's gone over chasing, but he did come third in the 2012 Supreme behind Cinders and Ashes.
Oh, he's no slouch either.
No, absolutely.
I know obviously Cinders and Ashes has gone the wrong way, and obviously Darland's not with us anymore. But that form at the time was very, very strong. So you can see why he is as short in the market as he is as well.
Your views, Charlie?
Well, I always find it interesting when he was essentially a second string horse, because Muzzletop was first choice in that last race at Leopardstown. And it was Trifolium that came through and won. I think Trifolium has got a fantastic
What about
chance.
Dodging Bullets? Everyone's...
he's been a different horse this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, had a Windop the year before and it's been improved, yeah.
You can't underestimate what breathing ups can do to horses. They really can make a massive difference. And Dodging Bullets has been I think he's been fantastic this year. And a lot of people would think, they'd look at the market and say 6 to 1 Dodging Bullets, but I think he deserves to be that price.
Can I just touch on
I think it'd be Dodging Bullets to back it, to be honest with you. I can't see it.
No, you don't.
No, I really don't.
I don't think I could back Dodging Bullets.
No.
I
don't think the form of beating Grandaway, although Grandaway's in this race
arguably,
as well.
you could say, though, we've gone through horses that have made mistakes in this field, and Dodging Bullets is a horse that hasn't been making mistakes. And, we just had Harry Fry on the phone regarding Rock on Ruby. I personally I couldn't back the horse for the Arkle. He's beaten...
You didn't tell him that when he was on the phone.
I know. Shall I tell you what, he's beaten a total, I think it's 3 or 4 horses.
Yeah, but he's got to get runs. The horse has got to run.
The preparation, okay. I think Harry Fry would have preferred it to have been against a few more horses. I don't know. To face one horse today, it's not really telling you that much. Mr. Mull was a very quirky character.
Got through the ground though, which was positive. Really.
Yeah, that is a positive. I think obviously we're talking about Valdez. I still can't believe that he won at Doncaster. He made all the way up the running. I thought this horse is not going to win this race, and he did. And for a horse to do that shows he's got a lot of class about him. And if Alan King can get him to Cheltenham, I think Valdez at 10 to 1, he's another horse that's...
it's quite...
I think I disagree because...
Yeah, I disagree as well.
13 of the last 14 winners have been rated over 142 over hurdles. And Valdez, I think, is 135 or something.
But I think he hasn't been there to prove it in the form. If they run him over the next month, there'd be no doubt he'd be knocking on the door of 140 plus, though, would there?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he have a slight injury as well when he was over hurdles, which might have stumped his progress? So you have to take that into consideration. We had Grandeway up on the screen. I know that Luke, who's on our panel, is very sweet on the judge of Grandeway. could not have him at all.
We've been beaten by Hinterland, been beaten by dodging bullets.
Yes, I just don't think he's just
but
runs too freely.
The only thing I could say about that is, I mean, Nicky Henderson in this race has got a terrific record. I mean, Sprinter Sacra's won this, Simon Sieg, I think, Tuchev, all trained by Nicky Henderson, and that is his leading fancy Grand Away, which is 25 to 1. We can't.
I think anyone that backs Grand Away surely needs a psychiatrist.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying this to Luke for plenty of years. He said he wanted to back the horse for the Champion Hurdle back when we done the what was that, back in October, and he said, 80 to 1 on Grand Away. Pete told him to shove it. Like, he does need a look at his mental state.
He can take a bit of a keen hold as well. It's not for me.
I think this race is obviously very dependent on the ground as well. Felix Younger, the Mullins horse, he would prefer better ground, and he could possibly get a lot closer to try lift him if that was the case. I've actually had a bet on the
Well, again, but you're banking on Champagne Fever not running this race.
I think he's worthy favourite. I want to tell you a horse that I've backed an outsider, because a lot of people will laugh at me about this one. A couple of weeks ago when we had that Emma Laval one, she mentioned Claret Cloak, didn't she? And she said that they've been riding him wrong. He's not a 2 mile 5 horse. You've got to hold him up and use him for a burst of speed. Everyone knows that Claret Cloak needs good ground. He won't go for the race if it's on soft. Emma's stated clearly that Claret Cloak needs the ground, but I've backed him at 300 to 1 on Betfair.
300 to 1. You laugh. People at home are watching this and laughing.
If it turns up good ground, and Emma's obviously was on the show, she was very clear that they've been riding him wrong. I think that's massive 300 to 1 on Claret Cloak.
Fair. It's a par.
Okay, well, who's going to win it then? Do we think Champagne Fever is going to run in this race? Do you think?
Yes, I think he will.
I might go for the juice, and yes.
I think he'll run in the race.
Yes, I think he will run in the race, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's 3 yeses.
And he's 3 yeses and 1
no. He's the likely winner as well.
I think Charles Burns will win with Trifolium.
You're right on that. You're right on that. And if we can quickly, when you're talking about dodging bullets breathing operation, there's been a bit of chat about it in terms of should the punter, and therefore everyone, the bookies as well, know whether a horse has had a breathing operation or not, if it can make such a substantial difference to the performance of the horse, like a first-time blinkers would, like a first-time visor would. Should it be in the racing post, BO next to the name, breathing operation, or not? Or how far do we then go?
This could be a totally
not to put on a big debate. But
this could be a massive.
Maybe we get some Twitters in about it.
He makes a very good point with that, because obviously some owners would say that they wouldn't like it to be declared, because then obviously if the general public know about a horse having a breeding operation, it can affect the price. And we had the show about low prize money. Yeah. Some owners fund their horses by having gambles, and if that was taken away from them, that could obviously upset owners. Yeah. I'm not saying that's everyone's point of view.
So for people watching at home, before we go over to Sam in Twitter Corner, you think Champagne Fever will run in this, but I want a selection from you, Tom.
Yeah,
quick selection.
Trifolium. Done.
Okay.
Trifolium.
I've talked up a lot of them. I'd probably say Champagne Fever is the likely winner.
Well, I think Trifolium, I think it's got a fantastic chance.
Yeah, I do as well, and I think the 6 to 1 on offer, if you get a no runner, no bet, get on, because I think 6 to 1 is value. And there's also got to be question marks as well, because I just don't understand why the horse is running over further distance at the weekend. He is entered for, I think, the novice GL2 chase.
JLT,
but obviously it's all conjecture at the moment. That's good.